Ochre is one of my favourite things to grow, and they're such an unusual and such a colourful thing to harvest in the winter, and it's so rare to have something that's bright yellow or red in the winter salad boxes or the winter harvest full stop. So today I thought I would just show you what I'm doing with the ochre right now. So right now means the end of August, and basically I'm just earthing up the containers. I've grown ochre in lots of different ways. I like containers the best. Let me show you what I'm doing. So the biggest problem I have with growing ochre in containers is that the plants grow really big, and at about this time what I find is that the compost is really shrinking badly back from the edges of the pots, and as a result of that all the water just drains straight down the edges and the plants start to flop over and can't support themselves because they're just not getting enough water. And also I think the compost is really depleted. So what I'm doing is I'm just refilling them with new homemade compost, and I'm stuffing it right down the edges really tightly to offset that shrinkage, and then also just giving them an extra inch or two on top, so effectively earthing them up. So here's a great example of just how badly I've neglected this poor ochre plant. It's lost 6 inches of compost through shrinkage from the top, and yeah, it's got like half an inch gap all the way around it. So I bet I'm going to get another 20 litres of compost in this pot. So there we go, that's the end result. And yeah, I did this last year and I got a really great ochre crop. I can't remember how much I buried the stems, but I'm pretty sure that I did. So hopefully the stems won't rot, but I'm not 100% sure. And but the benefit really is that the mice really like the ochre tubers, and so come the time when the mice are hunting for food, I take these containers and I pop them inside the polytunnel, and I kind of cover them with net or something to try and keep the mice off them, or put some mice traps down, and as a result I actually get an ochre crop rather than just leaving it for the mice to eat. So yeah, and it works really well. I think I've never had as good an ochre crop from the ground as I have in these containers, and it is just useful to use up this little bit of space that I've got on the allotment. And one of the things you can probably see just by looking at them is that they're pretty drought tolerant, because even though they've been neglected really badly, watered only once a week, and most of the water's run out the pots, the plants are still pretty lush, and they've got these thick stems that are absolutely full of sap, and those are kind of key to the life cycle of ochre as well, because ochre makes tubers under the ground, and these, when the plants are dying back in winter after the first light frost, the tubers kind of absorb, or the plants push into the tubers, I'm not sure which way around it goes, all this sap, and so the tubers put on loads of growth right at the very end of the just as the plant's dying. That's when the tubers are growing the most, and so yeah, and that's all down to this thick, lush, sappy stem. You can eat the leaves as well, they kind of look quite nice and lemony, and as you can see there's certainly a lot of them, although they're not at their best at this time of year, but the plant's got plenty of life left in it. You know, we start to harvest ours about December, just as we're finishing radish basically, and we use them as an alternative to a radish in our salad mixes, and they're extremely popular, and we keep that going until about March, and that's when we get radishes again in the polytunnel, and so that's the way we get a continuity of radishes all year round. So that's ochre in containers, pretty good. And I'll actually just put up a video, I think, just showing me harvesting one of these pots last year, just so you can get an idea of what the harvest looks like and the sort of size of the ochre tubers and all that sort of thing. And as I say, I put it down to this late season refresh of the compost. That's why I think I get such a good harvest from them. And so I suspect that if you're growing them in the ground, giving them another inch or two of compost at this time of year, you might get a similar sort of result. So there we go. Hope you like this quick video. My name's Steve. This is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.